That hurts.
So the time you can take and twist and tie a knot in them and undo them and they do all right.
Oh, those. That's the frame, it had nothing to do with the glasses.
Yeah, well, when I car went over them, they were all gone.
This watch I dropped in the parking lot and the car went over it, and it's still going. And it's not a Timex either.
I was gonna say, the Timex will last.
I can't believe it. I've read some of the sewer things that my head is spinning. You feel like
Ready?
I mean, right. Wait a minute. What's the rush?
7 o'clock, 8 o'clock.
Oh,
Sorry.
Hey, Mom, how to give us coffee.
I don't know, I don't, we're late, that's all, okay, let's go.
Pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, good evening, everyone, and I would like to welcome Michael Strander to our meeting. He's our newest member, and he comes to us, and we're very happy to have him here.
Thank you.
He's a financial wizard.
Oh, you do my check.
And I also wanted to, yes, right, and I also wanted to wish everyone, if you're celebrating St. Patrick's Day. I see you, and you have your entire.
Well, if there's absent for you. Oscar.
We're going to read our opening statement.
The notice requirement provided for in the Open Public Meetings Act has been satisfied. Notice of this meeting was properly given, was published in the Asbury Park Press on February 24, 2014. The Two River Times on February 28, 2014. This notice is posted at the Township of Middletown Sewerage Authority Administration Building, the Township of Middletown Municipal Building, and filed with the Township Clerk.
Roll call, Mr. Ostrander,
Present.
Mr. Rogers,
Present.
Ms. Smith,
President.
Mr. Stokes, Mr. Reed,
Yeah.
Mr. Zapsik,
Present.
Ms. Bath.
Yeah.
Okay, the first item is the minutes, acceptance of the minutes of the regular meeting.
Do I have a motion?
Moved.
Second.
Mr. Rogers,
Yes.
Ms. Smith,
I wasn't here. Is that the one I wasn't here?
Yes.
Mr. Reed,
Yes.
Mr. Zapsik,
Yes.
Mrs. Bath.
Yes.
Okay, next item is the consent agenda.
Anyone have any questions or anything they'd like to discuss? We can hold it.
Been clarified, all of them.
Everything? Everyone okay? Yeah. Do we have a motion to move it? So moved. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you.
Mr. Rogers,
Yes.
Ms. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Reed,
Yes.
Mr. Zapsik,
Yes.
Ms. Bath.
Yes.
Okay. Next is the engineer status report.
Well, wait a minute. That's, 6, number 7, that's, oh, okay, that's Basil. Engineers, I've got to get them straight.
Get right in.
Aye.
Although a little snow this morning, but.
You know, it's getting up to 10, I can't go any further.
Are you a new guy here?
Well,
Moved it from that side of the room. Moved them over here, that's what happened.
It's all out of sorts.
too busy doing checks.
Okay.
Right, can we, this hand.
Let's still give our report.
Okay, John prepared the March 5th letter giving a status of all projects. On March 3rd, we did submit the NJEIT project. All permits that were required were submitted. The only status update I have on that, the DEP has not issued any determinations on anything yet. I did get a phone call, the only project that was in that set of projects that was not at this treatment plant site were those elevated crossings, and they did ask to clarify that, so I suspect that they'll probably separate that out as a separate project, but.
The aerials?
Yeah.
Aerials.
Okay.
And the it's been a quiet month as far as the review, don't have any, sewer connection reviews this month. The Emery Drive pump station improvements, we have been reviewing shop drawings and evaluating the schedule on that, based on what we anticipated the FEMA application.
Have we approached the contractor on that yet?
We have, and he's evaluating what it's gonna mean for him to put it on hold.
Well,
willing to
hold
do
to
it.
a certain point like September.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard, at this point, we don't know when FEMA's gonna get back to us and give us approval to go
Okay,
ahead.
so we'll just take it.
Do we, is September, from what I've read, they might come down with a decision in September. So if we start our project September 1st and they come with the decision on September 2nd, we've lost, correct?
Right, that's why we talked to the contractor about waiting for FEMA, I guess.
Oh, in
no matter
general,
how long
okay.
that
Eh,
takes.
oh,
Okay,
totally.
okay.
Even,
Not
right,
another
we didn't
date.
establish September, we told him
Yeah,
we're
okay, good,
hoping that
good
it's
idea.
September or earlier, but we're not sure that that's gonna happen.
Mhm.
So he's, there's a couple of options. He can go ahead and order equipment and store it in his yard. He can order equipment and store it here, or he can wait to order the equipment. Everything has some cost to it, so he's evaluating what those costs are and what's the best option, the least expensive option.
Well, if he waits, that shouldn't be any additional cost.
The only
Well, there is.
The only issue is that if he has, or like, say he has a pump price now, and then
Oh,
he
okay.
tells them he doesn't wanna order it, they may increase the price if
Okay.
it's 6 months from now.
Okay.
That's the only,
Well, it's a gamble that I
right?
personally
Well-
think we would agree that we would need to take.
Yeah, but that would be part of, the venture wound up as a change order.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Has John found any additional grants anyplace? Like, I know he was looking under rocks and
No,
things
you
like
know what,
that.
actually, I have a list, which I didn't bring with me, a list of possible grants, which we've, at this point, applied for every single thing that's been available that is applicable to the sewer
Mhm.
authority. It looks like there may be some future money that may come out, which will probably be tied to the township, similar to the generator and the pump station project.
Okay.
So we have to go in and apply with the township as new funds come in.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, that's good. Tell him thank you. We appreciate his doing all of that investigative work for us.
Okay, next item is a resolution, actually authorizing myself and Brian to be able to sign the treatment works approvals. But last time this was done was 1997 when I was patting myself, so just need a motion.
Do I have a motion?
Make a motion.
Second. Thank you. Roll call.
Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Reed?
Yes.
Mr. Zasser?
Yes.
Ms. Powell?
Yes.
Okay. The next one is the director's monthly status report. No lost accidents during the month of January. We received the annual JIF Safety Incentive Award, which basically is throughout the year you collect points for having safety meetings, for going to different safety things, and each year, we pass that, so we get the incentive award. Let's see, regulatory, everything was within permit during February.
Wait, excuse me, what, I assume that's money, how much was that?
No, it's just a little plaque.
It's a wall
It's
decoration.
It's an award.
Wall
It's like
decoration.
The wave award, remember that? It's like this big and.
That's very nice. That's very nice.
It's a $4 item, man.
Everything
Allstate
counts.
gets money back.
Everything counts here.
Jim gives, happy you have it. Obviously, though, that would affect our rates going forward, true?
That little award?
Not the award, but the fact that we're award worthy.
Oh, sure.
Because it's rated based, or the
Well, I think
insurance
it's,
based on the ratings, especially when you're in a joint insurance fund like Joe.
yeah, I think basically it's kind of more will be an embarrassment than a penalty if we didn't get it.
Okay.
But we did get it, so that's the important thing. but,
So I don't get to
He'll send us
display
something.
it? This right,
well,
the
I can get it, actually, you know,
Ryan holding it.
I was gonna bring
It
it.
takes two people to do it.
The magnifying glass comes with it.
No, wait a minute, when I went down there one time to get the wave award, I came back and I displayed it to everyone, if you all remember,
Yeah,
my big wave award.
no, I'll get it when there's a break, yeah.
You wanna take a break here?
It's the kind of thing, it snuck up on us, and all of a sudden we realized, you know, we had to have this in, and we just had enough funds, but we've actually probably cleared it already for next year.
What's those planned for next year, right?
Yeah, the cold weather was very hard on the primary tanks. We had one and then two out of service, which wasn't a problem process-wise, but, you know, you're lowering them and everything freezes, and you want to be careful before you damage something, so they're back online now, so we're okay.
So we actually lowered those tanks for maintenance? And they froze, or?
Yeah, actually, George has the details.
But I have to assume that if we all of a sudden have a horrendous a rainstorm, that we're gonna have to bring these tanks back on. We have ways of, with the hot water or something, just
Oh,
to-
sure.
to,
You know, if it
bring
was an
them up where they
emergency,
need to.
Yeah,
we would have heated them somewhat.
yeah.
As a matter of fact, we just use what normally goes in the tanks.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's because it comes out.
It's warmer.
That's right, okay.
Easier to sign.
Well, that did cause me to ask the question, does our stuff ever freeze? For everyone's information, it doesn't.
Well, we haven't gotten that low that yet.
No, but it won't.
Good ton.
It won't, I checked it out.
Okay, on the financial side, for the first month, basically, we were 12% down on the revenue, but we were 14% down on the expenses, so we look good on the expenses anyway. The volume treated during the month, 6.4 million gallons per day, which is our highest month in quite a while.
Well, right, let's go on that. That's, the volume seemed to be creeping up. So I remember we were, once the time we were lounging around 4, 8, 4, 9, then I saw 5s, and now we're pushing 6.
Yeah.
Is this consistent with what everyone other people saying too?
You know, it's not like the type of thing, we don't, the only numbers that we get in, you know, are the McBoa numbers. And we can actually compare ourselves to Bay Shore. But, you know, we've had a lot of water, you know, I mean, the sun.
Yeah, I realize that.
We have snow, rain.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So that kind of implies that although we do an excellent job in I&I work in the basin area, we still have incoming water, you know, somehow
Yeah,
in places.
yeah. Yeah. Let's see, with the coastal discharges group, basically, I spoke to the chair of the group in Atlantic City, and the DEP has accepted the agreement. We were told that they didn't, now they basically have accepted it. We don't have a letter to that yet, but basically, once we get the letter, then our next part is we have to collect some information and send it to the state again to comply with the regulation. And then when that's all done, our ammonia testing will drop from every day down to once a year, and our mixing zone will be expanded from basically 300 feet to 1,000 feet out in the ocean. So that has an impact on it. If we ever do get limits on metals or anything like that, that has a big impact on
But
it.
that mixing zone is really a McBoa mixing zone. They got the pipe, and you've got 2 customers. So.
Yeah, it's a big discussion on that, because although McBoa just has the pipe, and if they ever held the permit, it's kind of funny, we would become an industrial pretreatment requirement. It's very, very,
Okay.
by definition, it's very, very difficult. But anyway, that's in the work. So once that gets moving, then our permit should get renewed right after that.
Good.
So that's good. We're in the midst of our safety training. We've had CPR, first aid, workplace discrimination, bloodborne pathogens, respiratory protection. Confined space and lockout tagout were both rescheduled because of the snow. And we just had excavation, trenching, and shoring. We sent the JIF, the MEL, the Municipal Excess Liability Joint Insurance Fund. They have a new program for where they want the supervisors trained in risk management. So 6 of us out of 7 went down to to 2 sessions, and it was all legal. It was all very good. You know, they discussed things like what's your liability if a manhole cover comes off, you know, and it's not reported and somebody hits it, or if it is reported and somebody hits it, and things like that. I spoke with my contact at JCP&L. Actually, I talked to him today also. First Energy they are now. We are a priority customer, which you know, he's going to spell out again in the letter. But he said the priorities in an emergency are hospitals, police, fire, and then water and wastewater. He said basically the problem during Sandy was that the substations were all down, so the priorities just you know, flew out the door.
I found that so amazing because I went up in my home faster than Thompson went up.
Yeah, but the substations this level in here are much more exposed than where we are.
Absolutely, but you would think that they would put all their energy to their higher level priorities than they would to.
Problem was they couldn't get the parts to do what they had to do in the substation. It's all ancient stuff.
Well, when Sandy blew through, you will remember that not only did this area go down, that it went like an escalating chain way past Freehold. They basically took the network down because they were losing too much equipment. And it took them days to bring it back because they had to bring in the height voltage lines, then they got to bring it to substations, then they got to check all the substations, then they have to start putting on circuits. This is not something that happens overnight. That was a big deal.
Collection system, we had 47 calls during February. That was high, but the reason was we had 17 pump station calls, which basically with again with the snow and all, we had a lot of trouble with the communication systems. So that'll be part of us looking into the wireless system. Let's see, Oswald is about halfway through the list of sewer pipes that we gave him to be cleaned. One of the things that we uncovered was a section of pipe down near McDonald's, and it's not to do with McDonald's, just where it is, but 160 feet of pipe where the bottom of the pipe is eaten out. So we're basically moving in the direction of planning that one. Either we'd like to be able to do it ourselves. We're kind of short on people. If we can't do it ourselves, then we'll be looking into Rock Solid to do it for us.
Then once upon a time, Thompson had its dig-up crew, a small dig-up crew, which was within a certain depth. We did it in-house.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, right now, we can attack anything, a smaller project like 3 or 4 feet deep, we can do something like that. When you get deeper than that, then you get into the well points and having to dewater everything, and that's when we rely on Rock Solid. But right now, we really don't have a dig-up crew. Pretty much everybody's busy on other things. So.
Oh, wait a minute. We have a backhoe.
Yeah.
We have Fran.
Yeah.
How many people do you need for the dig-up crew?
Another
2 or 3?
two. Yeah, 3.
2. So who's missing?
Well, it's basically the 3 that have, well, I'll get to it. Actually, we have 1 person now that's on disability. So that's another one we lost from maintenance. And it's just a matter of, you know, that if we go out to do a dig up, which one like that's going to take a few days, you know, to do all that. You know, those people in there not working inside the plant, so it's a trade-off there. Let's see, at the Clay Pit Pump Station, we've been having clogging problems, and we traced the line back to a nursing home. They were very nice to us. We've been talking to them over the last few years, but the administrators have changed hands. This woman that took over, she was very nice. We went in and spoke to her staff, 2 different meetings. So wet well has been cleaned out, and we'll be monitoring it now, see what happens. We began interviewing the mechanics. We have that mechanic position that's been open for quite a while, so we'll fill that. In personnel, as I said, one of our mechanics went on to temporary disability. His doctor is recommending up to 3 months. We're not sure whether he'll come back or not come back. We don't know. I don't think he knows yet, but we'll see what's going to happen. External contacts, a number of our employees went down to the technology transfer session in March. Actually, that's it.
March 3rd.
March 3rd, yeah. We go down there to get our continuing education credits, and it's very good, very economical for the.
For all your licenses?
It's organized, it's 4 days long, and there's a whole booklet they put out. And every day there's at least 4 sessions that, one of those topics is gonna be good, for the collection guys, the laboratory, for the engineers, it's a really good thing.
Okay, and that keeps their licenses updated?
Yeah. Between those credits and the safety credits that they get here, that it can easily cover it, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Let's see, the other is there's nothing really on the subdivision at the back of this. We just got the application in today for Stone Kettering. That'll start.
Are there any additional connections in that, or they have all the connections they need, because the building had a lot in it to start with.
Yeah. They're not, I read the description, they're basically not, they have a pump station and a pipe, and it said that they weren't intending to increase anything. I did read it, but it's a while ago. Right now, they said they were gonna do some improvements to the pumping system, but they weren't planning to increase the capacity. There's a pump station.
Their pump station.
Yeah, their pump station.
Are they metered?
We probably charge them on water use, probably not on wastewater.
Okay. Because that would make a difference then, because I'm sure they're going to be more heavily involved in waste than what the building was prior.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Depends how many people. It's on Friday, I have a lot of people.
Yeah, but with everything that they're doing now.
The construction fund analysis, basically, it's another kind of exploratory format, but this time, basically the first column is the design and committed costs, and the last column is if we had done everything. This agrees pretty good with our big spreadsheet with the EIT and everything else. It's not perfect, but I can tweak it. And then I guess there was some discussion about the period of time, that it's not really a 12-month projection, but we can work on that. We have the other sheet basically is better prepared.
What could we call it then? Is it the construction project estimated cost projection, period?
Yeah.
Or over how many years?
3.
A 3-year projection, or what are we looking at? We're really looking at more than 1 year.
Yeah.
But it's 3.
Yeah.
I mean, so we know, we're trying to get a feel of where we're going, and what the resources we need to get there. That's really what the whole idea of that. And then we're also trying to feel what we've already committed. It's already committed now, and what we potentially have down the road.
Yeah.
That's the whole idea.
Yeah.
One item on it, the raw building electrical upgrade,
Yeah.
$500,000. What's that?
The raw building, it's an old design from the original plan. Basically, it's the area where the grit cyclone separator is in there. And what happens is one side of the wall is the big MCC, and the grit chamber overflows a lot, and basically you have to hose everything down. And what you're doing is you're hosing right next to the MCC unit. So the idea is for years we've been talking about moving that. And we were talking about moving it onto the other side of the wall. We thought that was the best place to move it. And then logistically it didn't work out any well. any good. And the idea came about to actually put it on the roof, on the second floor. And that would certainly move it out of the way. We wouldn't have to worry about it as a safety. We can add some more capacity to it that way. And it looks pretty good. Okay, there's two budget statements in there. One is ending January 31st. This is basically, it's more or less the final unedited closeout of last year. That's what it should be called. At this point, we're at the 98% mark, before the audit. The audit will change those numbers again.
When is this one gonna be closed out?
This is the last time you'll see it in the package.
Right.
But basically, between Deirdre and Sandeep and Bill Myler, they're doing the closeout for the year now.
I thought that was supposed to have been done, but it's apparently not. Is it gonna be the end of the month, or probably by the end of the month?
Well, the audit report should come out in April, basically. I think that's the timing.
So that this has to be closed out before that?
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
And there's no intent or desire to push that back?
No, not yet.
It's like last year we went way back.
Yeah. No, Sandeep has been in. He spent a few days here already.
Okay.
And
So I think the question is, when can we expect this to be finalized?
well, as I say, we're on the schedule right now for an April audit, completion in April.
You can't do the audit until this is closed.
Right,
Well, yeah. No, they're all working, they're working together.
Okay.
It's basically Bill and, yeah. Okay, next thing is the staff engineer's report.
Does
Well,
anyone
you got
have
14.
any, does anyone have
14,
any
yeah.
questions?
All right, so the past month is focused, mainly focused on the EIT work, keep on sorting out the various funding and grant monies that we're pursuing. So the first item was the flood barrier installation contract, that put together the technical spec for the flood barriers and put together the plans and details for them to Mazer so they could include them in the 2015 EIT submission. Also prepared the 6 grant applications for the FEMA hazard mitigation grant. If you remember, this is the purchase of the plant emergency generator, and then also the collection system projects that include Emery Drive, Clayface, Jumping Brook pump stations, flood barriers at McLeese pump station, and some manhole rehabilitation. The Emery Drive project that's obviously been awarded, that was submitted on the 28th of February. I've been calling this state representative about once a week, trying to push him and see what the timeline's like. He's resisted any sort of, he's resisted putting a time frame on any of this. And I'll continue to pursue him, but I'm not sure how much I'm gonna get out of him.
Is now the time for us to go around legislators and see if,
The state one, yeah, state.
Yeah,
Can we get this
I don't
thing?
think it would hurt. I mean,
Stimulate the line.
Yeah, I mean, it's there, they've had it for 2 weeks now.
okay, so Ray, do you have a plan to do that?
Well, we have the 2 contacts.
Yeah, we have the contacts at the state that's above the guy that I deal with.
And
Who kind of handles the work.
what's your plan for that?
Well, we can discuss it. I mean, I know in general, the names of a couple state senators been thrown around. It's, as I say, we have the contact names, and if you want me to contact the senators.
Hmm?
Yeah.
To go after.
I think we should go into them from Thompson.
I don't know how responsive we've been. We need to talk about that.
All right.
But, I mean, on my end, I'll keep on pursuing them, and I know they keep on pushing back the deadline for the submissions now, see it all for.
You know what you do? Is you know a guy who's on the board who would like to meet you. And have a deeper discussion.
Yeah, because I just see this thing going, and.
They're gonna run that route, you know, their time.
Yeah,
That's what
and
they're
our
gonna do.
grant money disappeared.
Well, it won't disappear, it's just
Yeah, but then we don't do our project.
we're stuck in a normal process.
Yeah, and we lose the money for our project.
That's what it is.
Now, we put in some time extension requests for the project worksheets, and that's associated with the FEMA damage. That doesn't have anything to do with the project I was just talking about. We're asking for extensions of 1 year, because some of the work's tied up into the EIT. So that time extension will go hand in hand with how long it will take to get those projects done. We submitted 2 reimbursement requests for totaling $5,700. Usually those take 60 to 90 days to turn around, historically. Like Ray said, Oswald's continuing to work on cleaning and televising the sanitary sewers. So we're monitoring that, keeping track of how much they're working. We developed the cash flow analysis for the capital improvements projects with Mazer and Bill Myler. And the cash flow analysis breaks down the projects and the funding sources and timelines associated with that. We received a letter from the DEP regarding retrofitting our diesel vehicles. So we're working with DEP and Foley, who's a heavy machinery service contractor that, or dealership through that project. And then we continue to work on working to modernize the phone system and then upgrading ADP, the payroll system.
Thank you.
The payroll system is ADP.
Yes.
What do we have to bring on?
Right now, we use 2 programs, and one of which is going to be go unsupported over the summer. So
That's
Okay, next issue is, or item is the maintenance department.
Last month, we had a change out of grinder at Fairview Pump Station. We're currently rebuilding the one we pulled out. All the primary settling tanks that Ray mentioned before have been returned to service. And that's all I have, unless there's any questions.
Okay, next item is public comments.
Anyone from the public wishing to speak? Seeing no one from the public, I close the public portion.
Second. Roll call. Roll call, just all in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Get that roll call.
I mean, do whatever.
We do have to go
Roll
into
call,
executive
yeah.
session for one minor item.
Okay.
I hate to do this to you, but where it is necessary for the Board of Commissioners of the Township of Middletown Sewerage Authority to enter into discussion pursuant to NJSA 10:4-12, subsection 7. The minutes of said discussion to be made available when the board determines that the need for confidentiality no longer exists. Could I please have a motion to enter into executive session?
Make a motion. Second.
So we have first and second.
Either one.
Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Reed?
Yes.
Mr. Zapsik?
Yes.
Ms. Bell?
Take a 5-minute break then?
Yeah.
We can take a 5-minute break while the camera.
This one is more.
It's okay, it's okay, while the camera gets his hand.
Going home and have fun.
Oh,
Sounds even better.
Sounds even better.
Oh, I caught you.
Did I done some?
Yes. Oh, I got you. I got you. I'm gonna take a picture of this.
Good night, thank you.
Good night.
There you go.
When we go into executive session, I'm sorry, the public has to leave.
Okay.
Okay, so you can take your number and thank you.
Sure.
I'm Chantel Bao, I'm the chairperson, and you're